Bonjour! Hello, love children. Catherine, the hysterical yogi here. This is my most important exercise. It is called the Shakeout. This is something you want to do to make your body and the space feel safe before meditation, breathwork, or yoga practice. Most people are dealing with some baseline level of trauma and anxiety, regardless whether we're talking about a clinical level or not. We've all been through a lot of exceptional circumstances. A lot of the doctors and therapists I'm speaking with, they say this is what people need the most, so that's why I'm offering it. This is a shakeout that is based on taking us out of a sympathetic nervous state into a parasympathetic nervous state. So what it is replicating in our movements is an animal sort of going through fight, flight, and freeze. When animals particularly come out of freeze, they do a kind of vibratory shake that's a little bit like an epileptic shake. As you know, hysterical yogi is based off my thesis and postgraduate work in clinical psychology at the Spirit, Mind, Body program at Columbia University. And when I was looking at the historical archives of hysterics in the late 1800s in Paris, they would document them doing this very, very extreme movement called a C curve, where they would sort of do this big undulation with their back. And through my work with mind-body connection via Jung, essentially I was looking at this and seeing within the shape, these women were very much trying to shake out a kind of anxiety. And trauma was a very big part of what they thought caused hysteria at the time in the beginning of psychiatry back then. So now here we've arrived where my teacher Esther Eckhart did a lot of work with polyvagal theory, and this is all based on her work, the Shakeout. My personal addition at the end is that I do a body pat down because I'm a big freezer, and when you look at clinical freezing and in animals, a lot of that is dissociation. When an animal does a freeze in the field as a defense, that is to make the predator think that they're not a threat and perhaps they're even dead. So you can even look up videos of polar bears coming out of these states and they really kind of shake. So the pat down that I do is meant to bring you back into your body. So again, dissociation, it's a little bit of numbing. It doesn't always have to be clinical, but in an anxious state, a lot of people do this. They withdraw. And actually what is physically happening in a sympathetic nervous state, we actually do withdraw blood. That's why you can become fatigued. Your digestion is worse and your skin gets cold, because when you're in an aroused state and you're not necessarily aware of it, because you are instinctually feeling unsafe. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. This is an autonomic nervous system reaction. Therefore, you don't have that much control over it. With yoga, we try to balance and control energies. Yoga actually means to yoke something. And so the shakeout, before we even get into our asana, before we get into our pranayama, before we even try to calm our mind with meditation, we really need to access our instincts through the body first. And that's essentially what this is about. So again, I'll be ending with a pat down that will also end with a little bit of emotional freedom technique on our face in order to bring us into the space and into our bodies safely before any practice you do, or if you just need this to discharge and balance some disorganized, jangled kind of energy. This can maybe smooth your energy out. And then I'm going to end with an eye scan. The eye scan is one of the most important parts of polyvagal theory. My teacher, Esther Eckhart, uses it not only to create the safe space, and to basically you're looking around like you would for predators, but the most important thing is that also it's a bit of an eye stretch, and I'll cue you on this, but I do want to explain the reason why, is that people who are traumatized, they cannot scan their eyes frequently in a straight line. As if you followed a straight line, they kind of skip from point to point. So what I want you to be doing is to try and scan your eye in a straight line, while also you'll be doing a little stretch to the corner. But I'll remind you of that in the moment. So let's get up and practice. All right, yogis, get ready to get hysterical because we don't care what we look like, because this is all in interest of coming back to wholeness. So you're working out fight and flight, so you want to shake the legs. It's not like going for a jog, it's a shorter version of going through a jog. So shaking out flight, right? Shake out the legs and don't care about what you look like, and really shake your butt. Get everything vibrating, and then get your arms, okay? So we're gonna do a little jump. You can do jogging in place. You can do up and down. This is what I do because I've got high energy. I play with my upper register. You should play with your lower register. So now, sigh on sound with me. Go lower if you want. Really get moving, like as though you are just shaking out something really intense. Like take all of that tension when you sit at your desk and you're really, really just go shake it out. Woo! Don't care how you look, that's the point. Woo! Get it into your spine. Shake it out. Remember the C curve. Woo! As if you're doing the cold water challenge. Woo! Shake, 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 shake. Woo! So there's a deep vibration. You're coming out of freeze, right? Get the spine going. And now this little leg, that arm, and that. And now we're going to do the pat down. So starting inside arm. Lightly, not too hard. Pat. Coming back into the body. We're settling. Feel all the energy you've moved around. You've shifted it, right? Down to the feet. Pat the feet. Up the tops of the legs. Down the backs of the legs. Up the insides of the thighs. Along your front. A little lighter on the organs and the belly and the front. Around, do your butt, do your lower back. Wrap your arms around you. Tap your back. Get under your side. These are all a lot of your inspiration muscles, so really tap around the breast, the pec, the side. Do it gently. When we say breathe in the armpit, this is what we mean. Breathe up in here, open it up. Open up the whole area. Now, lighter tapping, you move to your meridian point. And now, take your hands flat. Pat lightly the tops of your shoulders. This is the tops of your lungs at the back of your shoulders. Up your neck, not smacking yourself. Doing it lightly. And now take your fingers into pads. Lightly tap. Back of your skull. Your occipital ridge there. That's where your neck and your head connects. Backs of your ears. Tap, 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 tap. Side of your jaw. Now up the sides of your temples. Top of your head. Like raindrops in your head. Just a little bit, little bit. And now follow me very carefully. Top of your forehead. Tap, tap, tap. Rain down. Eyebrows. Tap, tap. Under your eyes. Very light. Like raindrops. And then upper lip under your nose. Tap, tap, tap. Lower jaw right here. Tap, tap, tap. And then your clavicular points to end. Right here. Okay. Now just settle. Feel the difference. Take a deep breath. Another sigh on sound. One more time. And now we're going to do our eye scan. So I'm going to be taking my eyes over to the corner. What I will be doing is following the seam in the wall from where the wall meets the ceiling so that I have a straight line. Whatever the room you are in looks like, try and scan the room as though you were scanning an entire line and that your eyes would follow an unbroken line. And we're just checking the space to make sure there's no predators. We really feel safe. If we're going to be doing asana, we want to make sure that we're looking behind us in the space. So scan, please. Take your eyes up, and then I take them over to the side, and I'm scanning up and over the ceiling, letting my eyes lead the direction of my head. My head's not leading it, my eyes are. And then my eyes, making the best effort I can to not skip, but following a straight line as much as that might be possible for me. And the more that you practice this, the more that we can communicate neurologically with our stressed out little brain that it's all okay. And just end your scan by rolling your eyes down the corner, down along the wall, along the floor, and back up. And now you're ready to start your yoga, asana, breathwork, or meditation practice. Or just get on with your day, hopefully with some more controlled, settled, and balanced energy. Namaste, practice well.